Morning, everyone. Beautiful to be with you. Nice and cold weather catching up. And COVID-19 is running away. Another COVID-19 is coming up. And have you realized one thing? That those of you, yogis, Mahayogis, who have been practicing Kriya and the Advaita, you did take care, you took all the precautions as it was expected out of all of us by the orders of the government, but you were still fearless, absolutely fearless. Janak Maharshi, when he attained his nirvana with Guru Ashtavakra, Ashtavakra told him, Abhaya Prapti, O Sri Janaka. He didn't say you've become enlightened. He said, you have become fearless. And you guys are on that marching on that as the sincere devotee. It's so beautiful. And you must be feeling it in your heart of heart. Yes, you do take care. You have a precaution. And that little bit of tingling fear which is there is the reason of that we have not yet got over that barrier. Become absolutely fearless. You know there is a protective hand of the mother, of the divine Brahman, Mother Shakti, of Shiva Shakti, of Babaji, of Krishna, Yogakshema, Vaham Vaham, and our Gurudevas. I remember sometimes back, there was one tantric who used to meet my second brother, who was in the Air Force, and this was in Guwahati. And this tantric was, taking support from my second brother. And in addition to support, he started kind of bullying him a little bit. My second brother was also in the Indian Air Force. And this tantric told him, you have to give me this much of money, you have to write up that much of property to me, I'm going to start an ashram, and if you don't, I'm going to curse you and kill all your family members. Fear. My brother, he was being an Air Force officer and a very spiritual practitioner, long time. He, of course, refused. And I recollect in one of my meditation time, I found this tantric coming. He was sitting in front of me, and with something in his hand, he was doing something like that towards me. And I had heard this story from my second brother that, look, you all be careful, don't stay close to me, stay far away from me. He was also naturally concerned because he didn't want, because of whatever his association with the tantric should affect the family members. All of us, I would suppose, do that. Then when I saw that, I immediately realized that this must be the tantric. I had never met him, but he looked like a tantric, bare-bodied and long hair, matted hair, big sindoor, tilak, and on the body. And this, I was a very sincere, serious Kriyaban yogi at that time. And I immediately, during the meditation itself, automatically I prayed to Babaji, Paramahansa Yogananda, and Yukteswar Giri, Lahiri Mahasaya, to Swami Vivekananda, give me strength, Holy Mother and Sharada and Mother Kali. And I found suddenly Paramahansa Yogananda came with that long dress in that meditation. I saw him. He stood in front of me, and he was kind of on my left, and in front was the tantric, and from the left he showed his hand like that, and he was pointing at him and saying, like that, silently, without saying any word. He was pointing and saying, get out from here. And you know what? This is what makes you. And this is what Janak Maharshi attained. And Rishi Ashtavakra told him, Abhaya Prapti, O Sri Janaka, that you become absolutely fearless the moment you know that you're the one. You must have heard this story. We keep talking about Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, Karana Sharira. Basically, the Sukshma Sharira is our reflective consciousness, and Mano Buddhi Chitta Ahankar. These are the ones. And once we die, Sthula Sharira stays on the earth till we cremate or bury. And the Sukshma Sharira is the one which kind of leaves the body, and as per Vedanta, rests for a while, sleeps for a while, depending on the karma, and then takes rebirth again and again and again, till attains that oneness with the Supreme Brahman. All of us will attain, but the point is, this is the one, this Sukshma Sharira, on evil people or people who are dissatisfied, people who have had an unhappy death. They're the ones become so-called the ghost. The ghost you see, fine body and all. So those of you who read the story, Paramahamsa Ramakrishna, Totapuri, while doing meditation in that forest in Dakshineshwar temple, those of you been there, must have been, all of you. There's under the tree, he was meditating, and there was another huge tree in front. And he was in Panchavati, Paramahamsa Ramakrishna. And Totapuri was doing meditation slightly another place, little away, just few, maybe about less than 100 yards. And Totapuri saw this ghost-like creature came and said to Totapuri, I am Brahmadvaitva. And the Brahmadvaita. The Totapuri said, whoever you are, sit down and start meditating. You need to reach Brahman. Apparently, this talk, as he gave, the Brahmadvaita ran away. He vanished, as it is given down in that story. And when it was being talked about, Paramahamsa Ramakrishna said, yes, I have seen him many times. He used to come to me also. This is the Sukshma Sharira, which comes in. Let's start with a prayer and focus our beautiful time together, spiritually, all one consciousness. Asato ma satgamaya, tamaso ma jyotir gamaya, mrityur ma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Jai Guru. Lovely to be here together. You will see progressively, whatever be your age, Totan left his body during this COVID-19 thing. He got infected, and I was in continuous touch with him through WhatsApp and telephonically till I think about 5 or 6 days before, when he got into the absolutely in supporting system, when he could not talk to me. Otherwise, he was sending me the messages. And I was telling him, you fight it. This devil has to be. And he was saying, I'm fighting it. I'm fearless. I'm not scared at all. Whatever comes up. This what will happen. Even in the beginning of the journey itself, you will feel this fearlessness will come in. And this fearlessness actually is the dependency onto God. Dependency onto Brahman, which is where? Within you, within me. All of us are one consciousness. In fact, I have some beautiful questions. Before I come down to the questions, I will take you to the little bit of the presentation and Let's get on. Okay, questions and answers, Q&A and Vedanta, in which, let's start with a story time. Janak Maharshi, he was such a great saint. The question came up, somebody asked to Janak Maharshi, Maharaj, you are the father of the Divine Mother, Mother Sita. You're the father of Divine Mother Sita. You're the father-in-law of God himself, Rama. And on top of that, you are absolutely Maharishi. On top of that, you are an emperor. And on top of that, you're about to attain nirvana. He had not attained nirvana then. Why is it? Question was very good. Why is it some people have everything and some people working and not getting it? The Janak Maharshi at that time, he had not attained nirvana, so he didn't have the answer. He said, yes, it's a very good question. I will meditate on it. I will think on it. Now that night, in his deep sleep, Janak Maharshi saw a vision. And in that vision, he got a message, a booming voice came. He said, do you want to know the answer to the thing which is bothering you? Then tomorrow morning, without eating anything, as you get up, freshen up, change your clothes, and start walking towards west. And you will find a yogi who is sitting next to a mountain of dry leaves and eating those leaves. The yogi is eating those leaves. He will have the answer to your question. Go to him. He will know your question. He will have answer to this question. So Janak Maharshi, very spiritual, very religious, very sincere. Next day morning, got up and he freshened up and he started walking. And walked and towards the evening, sunset, he's going to the west. So the sun was traveling with him. And he found that yogi. He said, that's my man. I've been wanting to get him. And as he went, the yogi said, Maharaj, I know who you are. I know what question you have in your mind. I have the answer too. But I cannot answer you that question. You have to walk to the north. Tonight you rest here. I'm not going to give you only dry leaves to eat. Tomorrow morning you go towards north. And you will find another yogi like me, and he's sitting next to a mountain of ash, rock, residue after fire, and he's eating that ash. He will know your question. He will know the answer. You go to him. So next morning, this story was, by the way, you will not find it in Vedanta normal. It's a very rich text of ancient time, told by the mouth of a monk to another monk. The other monk, you all will know him quite well. He's very famous. He is Swami Sarva Priyananda, who's the head of the NYU of Ramakrishna Mission, retelling the story. Next morning, Janak Maharshi got up and he started walking towards north and walked through the day and towards the end, and he found, as it was becoming sunset time, he found Yogi sitting next to a mountain of ash and eating ash. Very surprised. Eating leaves, eating ash. What terrible life. And Yogi on top of that, doing sadhana. As he came near, that ash-eating Yogi said, I know why have you come. I know your question. I have the answer, but I'm not going to give you the answer. The answer will be, you walk towards east tomorrow and you will have the answer. So you will have, they will, no, you will see a baby boy, just born baby, but the baby will talk to you. He would know the question, he will know the answer. He'll give you the answer. I cannot give it to you. So he rested, Maharaj Janak Maharshi, and the next morning, he started going towards the east, walked and walked and walked, and he went and he entered to a rich-looking village. And in that village, as he went, he somehow intuitively got directed towards a nice palace-looking house, which was like a king's house, who was the head and the Maharaja of the local king of that village place. And he went ahead and went there. And as he went, he asked, the headman came down and said, we have a young baby born. I'm glad you have come, Maharaj. He recognized the Maharaj Janak. You come and bless my son. So Maharaj Janak Maharshi went down, and everybody can see me. They have to do a little bit of change of the camera and things like that. You all can see me? Everybody okay? Tapliyal Sahab, can see me? Show me your hand, please. Thank you. All right, good. Thank you. So as he went, the Janak Maharshi said, I need to talk to this baby. The baby has sparkling eyes, just born. And tiny baby, just imagine. He told the headman, the little king, please close the door. I have to talk to him. Because Maharaj had to ask him about his personal question. And as the door was closed, the baby suddenly started speaking. He said, Maharaj, I know the question you have in your mind. I know the answer. You know, I had the answer. I'm not going to tell you to walk tomorrow morning again. He said, do you know, long time back, in this village itself, there was a very, very poor mother. Husband had died, and she had 4 sons. And very difficult to get some food. She had one cow whose one little mug of milk or something, she will go and sell it, get a little wheat and some chapati and give it to them, some wild grass looking from a pond, take it out and cook it along with the chapati, and that's what they would eat. Now, in this one particular day, the young baby is telling, the mother of this old lady could get only enough wheat to make 4 small chapati. And she had 4 sons. So she decided not to eat herself and made just 4 chapati and gave it to the 4 boys. The eldest was about 10, 12-year-old, and then 8, 9, and 5, 6, and the youngest one was just about 5. As she gave them to eat, and the boys would start to eat, suddenly there was a knock on the door, and Mother opened the door, and there is this tall man with long beard walked in. And he said, I am very hungry. I have to eat. Give me something to eat. And those days, people could come and demand. The lady said, I'm afraid I don't have anything to give it to you. I had only enough wheat to make 4 chapati, and I have already given them to my 4th son. What am I going to give you, oh my guest? I do not have the answer. If you have to take it, then you can go and ask my sons. It is their choice now, because I've given it to them. So he goes, this new visitor, and asks the oldest boy, who was about 10, 12 years of age, I'm very hungry. Please give me a chapati to eat. The elder boy said, I do not have any more chapati than only one. If I give it to you, what am I going to eat? Only dry leaves? That night, that boy died. He ate his chapati, and he was the one who Janak Maharaj saw, that first yogi who was eating dry leaves, reborn, and was exactly what he had said. What am I going to eat? Dry leaves? That is what he was born to do that. As the traveler went to the second boy and said, give me your chapati. And this boy said, if I give you my chapati, what am I going to eat? Dry ash? And this is what happened. It's a fantastic story of telling how powerful are our words, are our thoughts, and our karma phala. And this is the second boy Janak Maharaj saw. But his question was something else. And then the Maharaj went to the third boy. And third boy was, when he asked him, give me your chapati. Third boy said, if I give him my chapati, what am I going to eat? I'm going to die. And this young boy, who was the just born baby, who was talking to Maharaj, said, Maharaj, I am that third boy who is born every time and dies the same day, in one day's time. I'm born and I die. I'm burning, taking birth and dying again. And Maharaj was listening intently. His question was, how did I become the father of the mother of the universe, the father-in-law of the God himself, Rama? I'm a Maharshi, and I'm also the Maharaj. I've got everything that a human being can think of. And then he attained nirvana too. That was later. And then the baby who was talking, he said, when this traveler went to the fourth boy, who was just 5 years old, before he could ask, he was listening. Before he could ask, he held up his chapati and he said, please take. And this baby boy who was, taking birth and dying, and he said, Maharaj, you are that fourth one. All your wishes, dreams, everything that you have been fulfilled absolutely. And whatever you had in your mind, at the highest of the achievement of a human being, because of giving, because of your good karma. So, dear fellow travelers, devotees, yogis, and Vedantists, notice the power of truth, the power of good karma, the power of living with purity, the power of speaking. This is what you and I need to understand from this. This is the same monk once
was sitting in the river bank. And that time, it was this current time, November, December month. And Gangotri Gomukhi, this is in Gangotri itself. And the river Ganga is crystal clear. This is November, December. Very cold water, very cold. I've taken bath between Gangotri and Devaprayag. Very cold. So cold, the body freezes when you go in. But I think many of you must have done it also. But when you come out, your body is so hot. You don't mind taking off your clothes, wiping without bothering about cold weather and December time. Both of them were sitting there, and this old monk tells him, "Oh monk, you see this water? It's crystal clear. It's so pure. It's the holiest of the holy water. And it's people come from all over and take this water and take back to their home. And it is so pure, it doesn't get polluted, even if you keep for years. You know something? I have that water collected several times over years, but even the first time collected must be close to 15 to 20 years. I still have it in my worship corner, and I still drink it. It is still good. It's so pure water." He said, a mind of a Vedantist yogi is like this water. It doesn't get polluted. And it can be used again and again and again. It is always pure. And it's crystal clear. If you throw a coin, you can see the coin at the bottom. You can cross this river walking. Water is not very deep. Yes, it's very cold. Cold is the detachment. In the samsara, flowing through the entire land and the forest and going to the ocean, joining up with the Brahman. But it's totally detached. And the monk goes on to say, little later, in June, July, August, the same river would be coming down with the glaciers, the torrential mud and trees and branches and swept away houses, and the water will be dangerous, very muddy. It's of no use to anyone. And if you try to cross it, many get swept away and dies. And he said, what is that? Do you know? It represents the mind of a Vishayi, a samsaric man. A mind of a Vishayi is always like that. So yours and my journey, beloved seekers, is travel towards that purity by establishing one most important, holding on to truth all the time. Even in a joke, now telling lies. I was just joking. Now, and every thought you have, it will come, because you and I are not perfected being as yet. We are in the journey. But start the effort. This is what Patanjali meant by yama, niyama, those 5+5 principles. Satya, ahimsa, asteya, you recollect, aparigraha. Purification. This is what you and I need to practice. Purify that thought. How do you purify it? Saasi Hanuman hai. Powerful. Pavan Putra Saas is our property. Utilize it. Pranayam. Kriya Yoga. The supreme of the yoga. With the divine grace, not by my power. I am nobody. I am just a simple, I get little message and we share it among ourselves. Enrich myself, and in doing so, share with beautiful people such as you. This purification of the mind, Manaso hi amani bhavi. Remember our last session. The moment the mind becomes no mind, Tvaitam naiva upalabdhate. You do not have duality anymore. And remember, Gaudapada had said in Mandika Karika, 31st verse, 3rd chapter, that this samsara, this suffering, that clouded river, dirty water, is that duality in the mind. And where does the duality come? Duality comes from Nama Rupa Babhara. I am this, Robbin Ghosh. Where is Robbin Ghosh? This is me. This name, this form, this age, this work, this appointment, this, I have this and I have that and I have, husband, wife, children, house, property. That's the Vishayika man. And occluded with the moment I say, I am this, I am dual. Whereas Advaita is non-dual, not two. Dvaita is two and more. Not two. Second, with the thought comes in words. We speak about our worries, what will happen. I hope she will land properly. The flying, I hope nothing happens. God, please take care. So-and-so is suffering. God, please heal him, heal him. Sure, pray. Prayer is powerful and the most powerful weapon. But instead of saying, God, please, you say, God, I demand out of you. I'm your son, I'm your daughter. Remember Hanumanji was asked by God himself, Rama, Hanuman, what do you think of me? Hanuman said, Deha buddhya dasoham. When I think of myself as this body, I'm your servant. Hanumanji said, Jiva buddhya. The moment I think I am a jiva, like you and me, he said, Tadam sakha, I'm your friend. And he goes on to say, Atma buddhya, tomeva aham. You and I, when I think about consciousness, spirit, Atman, we are one. There is no separation. And then he goes on to add, question is, which one is true? The Deha buddhya, the Jiva buddhya, or Atma buddhya? He goes on to add, Iti me nischaya buddhi. I have no doubt that all three are right. So yours and my journey is from the Deha buddhya to Atma buddhya. From duality, name and form, to knowingness. So what is Gaudapada saying? What did Yogi say? Patanjali Yoga Sutra saying, to go from duality to non-duality, samadhi. Follow the 8 limbs, attain samadhi. And to do that, what did Yogi say? Cut away, block away the samsara. Go onto the mountain or, in the samsara, follow very strict principles. Following those principles. When you're watching a movie, the movie is disturbing you. Pull off the plug, switch off the TV. So, the Patanjali Yoga Sutra teaches us to wipe away the samsara. Whereas what is Advaita Vedanta saying? He says, इसी संसार में निर्वाद बना देता है, makes you totally detached, being in the samsara. How? Gaudapada goes and said, what is the answer? Because he doesn't agree. Gaudapada, Guru is Guru of Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya, 1400 years ago, Guru Govindapada, 1500 years ago, and about 1600 years ago is Gaudapada. I shared his pictures also in our last session. Gaudapada doesn't agree. Why? He says, by wiping away samsara, you attain samadhi. But samadhi is an experience. There is a beginning, there is an end. Every experience that you have, reflect on it, meditate on it. There is a beginning, there is an end. Even samadhi, yes, you will attain the oneness with the Brahman, but there is a beginning, there is an end. Till the time you attain that nirvikalpa samadhi, where you stay on it, like Paramahansa Ramakrishna, Ravana Maharshi, they used to stay on it for months and months. You all must have read it. There is a beginning, there is an end. He said, where is? What is Gaudapada saying? What you heard. Keep your eyes open. Live in this samsara, but use viveka. Viveka. Know that this is not correct. So how do you purify that mind? With the viveka, with also follow the yogic principles. Yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. But in that, being in the samsara, but you become more effective, a wife, a husband, a father, a mother, a son or a daughter, a friend or a professional. You be in the world, but with viveka. What is viveka? Knowing what is real and what is not real. What is not real? Discriminate, attain vairag automatically. I don't feel like doing it. Why? I know it is not correct. I will not jump the traffic light. I will pay the income tax. I will not tell a lie. Viveka. And automatically you will see, you will become not two. You'll become Advaita. That's the journey. Connects with a beautiful question I had from Achala. Achala was asking that when I am doing my meditation and prayers, we are thinking about Babaji or the Divine Mother or Krishna. And along with that, I have visions of many other gods and goddesses. Is it correct or wrong? So understanding it this way, we are Advaitavadi. We are follower of that same Viveka principle of we are one. Aham Brahmasmi. This is the knowledge. Understand it, establish it firmly. But, there is the but. You notice in our ashrama, you go to Badrinath, Shankaracharya's original ashram. You will find there is Mother Saraswati, there is Mother Durga, there is Krishna. He has written himself beautiful, stotras on Saraswati, Durga, Krishna. He has written many. And he was the staunchest of Advaitavadi. So what is it? Understanding it this way. Today is a beautiful blue sky. Understand now. Which one? Achala's question. What should we do? Don't let it bother you. How? Beautiful blue sky. You're looking at the blue sky. But you know that this blue sky is not blue. It is not its color. It's not real. It is, you and I have studied that it is because of this scattering of the light effect. And during the sunrise and the sunset, and even during the day's time, sometimes because of the certain occlusion called optical phenomena, the light effect, the sky turns orange and red and blue and green and all kind of things. You know it is not real. You know samsara duality is not real. You know sky is not real. You know it now. And now you still look at the sky and enjoy the beauty of the blue, beautiful, blooming sky. And if you're lucky, it is coupled with some beautiful snow-clad mountains and a rivulet filled with flowers. You're in ecstasy. You feel like getting into some state of samadhi, don't feel like moving. A cold wave catches you and keeps you frozen. Don't feel like moving. You're enjoying it. You know it is not real. Just like a wave, like you and me, Robbin Ghosh wave, playing, having fun with friends like all of us together. And suddenly one friend like you tells me, hey, Robin, can you see that dark line there? I said, yeah, what is that line? I'm a wave in an ocean, and everybody else is also wave in ocean, and I'm playing and having fun in the samsara. And he said, that line is called a shoreline. I said, really? What happens there? He said, you're going there. I'm going there? Really? Why? He said, you're going to die there. I said, die? What is die? He said, you don't know? I said, no. He said, you will not be a wave anymore. I said, what? Not wave anymore? How can it be? I am a wave. Robbin Ghosh says, I'm a wave. He said, no, you are not wave. You are water. You go there, you'll become water. I said, shut up. I don't believe you. That guy said, what a stupid guy. I'm not going to play with you. He goes away. Comes another Vedantic friend, like somebody like you, and say, hey, Robbin Ghosh, why is your face so small? I said, that monkey told me just now, I'm going there and I'm going to die and I'll become water. My Vedantist friend, I like him because he's very calm, very collected, and very nice to be with him. He says, it is true. I said, really? But I don't want to die. And what is this thing about water? He said, you touch yourself, touch your side, bottom, top, inside. You are water and water alone. I said, really? He said, yes. Now I believe him. I said, really? But I don't want to die. He said, that's possible. I said, really? What do I have to do? Tell me, I'm going to do that. I don't want to die. He says, become still, become silent. Just by the way, I'm deviating for a few seconds. This infinite consciousness, which you and I are. I am Atman Brahman. This consciousness is the infinite around, and also you and I, we are. When you become silent and still, practice every day, at least 30 minutes morning, 30 minutes in the evening. And ideally, that as a Kriya Bhani Yogi and a Vedantist, you need to do about 1 hour, 10 to 1 hour, 15 minutes. Then you complete everything peacefully, and you still have at least 20 minutes of meditation. Silent, still. Make it that 30 minutes of meditation and finish your complete thing. Go to 1 hour, 10 to 1 hour, 15 minutes. Everything, starting with the exercises. Don't forget Paramahansa Yogananda given those exercises for very special reason. If you do that, become silent and still. What will happen to the wave in the middle of the ocean? Become silent and still. What will happen to me as the wave? I'll not be a wave anymore. Imagine a wave has stopped moving. Wave, ocean has become calm. Think now, couple of things happen instantly. One, you cannot say, this is Robbin Ghosh. You can't find me anymore because Nama Rupa Babahara, my form and function is gone. I'm not working wave anymore. I am one with the ocean. You cannot discriminate by giving me a form anymore. I have mixed with the ocean. And where am I? Am I here in this area? No. Think, I spread from that end of the ocean to this end of the ocean, to that end of the ocean, to this end of the ocean. Not only that, think again, reflect, very deep thought. You are top of the ocean to the bottom of the ocean. You are the ocean. You become one with the consciousness, with that being silent. So what happens then? You know what happens? You are aspiring toward the journey. And then you have the power of the consciousness. You are protected and healed by yourself. Nothing can touch you. No COVID-19, a sickness or disease will harm you. You continue to take precautions. It doesn't mean that, Robbin Ghosh said so. So I don't have to do this. I don't. No, continue to do that. Why? Respecting the government instructions to us. Shraddha. But you're protected. Not only that, you have the power to give this entire ocean. To who? Anyone who needs it. This ocean, last sessions I was covering on this Thursday, this universe, this cosmos, operates on a simple principles of giving and receiving. Notice, I get air, I receive air, I breathe it, it becomes prana, keeps me alive. It is in circulation. Water, I drink it, and it goes out, and it becomes water again. Blood circulating. If the blood, I say no, I try to save, I'm trying to hold it. If I try to hold and save, the blood will become stagnant. Stagnated blood in my circular system, meaning what? It's going to coagulate. Coagulate is what? Another word for clotting. It will clot. Clotting blood will give me paralysis, will give me heart attack, and will be the cause of the death of this body. Not me. I am not this body, but I think myself now I am this body. I have two other some beautiful questions. I'm going to touch upon them. And what happens to the reflective consciousness after death, after enlightenment? What is reflective consciousness? You all are now aspiring great Vedantis yogi. We have consciousness, but consciousness is everywhere and everything, everything. But by itself, consciousness can't do anything. Consciousness is the Brahman. Consciousness is Ishwar. But with Prakriti, with Maya, with the mother of the universe, it comes into the forms of the Jiva and the universe is created. Now, how do I perceive the world? Recollect that chart shared with you many times. Consciousness, like the sun, is throwing light during the day. Earth, which is the samsara, simile, okay, is enjoying the sun. We are not aware. We know it is a day, we're vaguely aware. We hardly know I'm using the sun, the solar power, the enormous energy of the sun. Comes night, sun is not there. And imagine these days electricity and all, imagine a time when there was no light, nothing. Was moonlight. Falls on the moon and the moonlight comes to us. I look at the moon and I enjoy the brilliance of the moon, full moonlight. I see things around me. So, but I never look at the moonlight and say, this is not moon's light, this is sun's light. I never think of it that way. None of it. Very few of it. Though I know through my astronomical classes and science classes, I know the moon's light is not its own light. Now, two things. The moon's light is like the reflective consciousness of the consciousness. Consciousness, the moon, mind is the earth. Similarly, mind is receiving, perceiving the world like you and I perceiving today. How? Through the five senses and the body. Senses go out to the world. I see that rose, the mountain, the dog, the dolphin, the computer, and what enters my eye, makes the picture, not the computer, not the rose. It's just the light reflects and refracts and enters. It creates an image. And from there, tiny, tiny electrical sparks go on to the neurons, connects, makes synapses, and to the brain. And then from there, how Western world can't still find out. Ancient India has talked about it, which is what I'm just sharing. it goes to the mind. Mind get the power from the consciousness, the sun. Mind is the moon now. Get the power. And the mind now sees the universe by the reflective consciousness. So his question is that what happens to the reflective consciousness after death and after enlightenment? After death, Sthula Sharira stays back. It is there. It will not vanish. It has to be cremated or buried. Sukshma Sharira is reflective consciousness along with Mano, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankar. And you have that famous song of Shankaracharya. Mano, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankar, Na Aham. And then you go on to say, Shivoham, Shivoham, Chidananda Rupaham. That Shivoham is the, I know I'm the Brahman. I'm not this. So these four items with the reflective consciousness become the bubble. Imagine a bubble. I've seen this with the divine grace. I happened to see one young girl, just 28-year-old. She was dying. I was there. I was praying and I saw a beautiful oblong, almost the same size of the child. And it was there for a long time, almost for 2 hours that I was seeing. And then I was meditating, sometimes with my eyes closed and praying. And sometimes with my eyes open, I was enjoying that light. And I was talking to that light. That light is that. And it left. The girl died. That is the one which goes. And for an evil spirit or people who die with a lot of desires and cravings, they become so-called the ghost-like figure, or it goes in a bubble and takes a resting time and rebirth and birth and rebirth till the time we attain the oneness. This reflective consciousness, what happens after death? It goes out. What happens to consciousness? Consciousness remains. Consciousness will not go anywhere. It is always there. It will always be there. It is always there. How do you understand that? How do we know? Very simple understanding. Imagine you're watching a TV show, TV screen or a computer. You're watching a film. Screen is not affected by what is happening inside in the movie. A lot of movement is going on. There is love affair going on, fighting going on, killing going on, dinosaurs coming, chasing, tigers, whatnot things, that earthquake and volcano. But the screen is least affected. But think, without the screen, you cannot see that film. The movement inside the screen, and if you try to touch those things, you only touch the consciousness. You can't touch those things which is happening, the villain or the hero or the heroine. You can't. When the film finishes, screen remains, consciousness remains. The film is switched off or changes to another film, to another film. Another example. Let's say you have 15 buckets with water. Beautiful sunny day like today. You have 3/4 filled with water in those buckets. Like a gardener, if you go and see, you will see not only the water, you will also see the reflection of a little sun inside. That little sun inside is the reflective consciousness. The true sun is up there, but you're seeing that little sun is the reflective consciousness. And let's say the bucket has become old and cracked, and the gardener finds if I don't take away the water, water will leak out. So what does he do? He brings a new bucket, an empty bucket, and he puts this water into the new bucket. And as he pours it, that sun which was their little son in that old bucket, but now cracked, it travels with the water, with the Sukshma Sharira, into the new bucket. Remember it this way, and you can see that new sun there again. It's the reflective consciousness. What happens on the enlightenment? It's the same story as we have talked about, the simile and the Robbin Ghosh wave. And now I attain oneness with the Brahman. When I do that, I realize what every wave in the ocean, including that one who was fighting with me, they're all one. And that oneness is not the wave, not the ocean, but the water. And this is why I keep telling you all to repeat again and again to understand it with clarity. When somebody says ocean, water, waves, water, wave has water in it, ocean has water in it. Not true statement. Why? Simple example. Remember the Mahar earlier. This glass has water in it. I can separate this water, separate the glass. It becomes two objects. A glass filled with water becomes two. Water, glass. Yes, I need a container to put that water, but it becomes two. Can I take away the water from the wave? Will the wave remain? No. Can I take away the water from the ocean? Will the ocean remain? No. Can I take away, you have got various ornaments. You wear ring, you chain, you bangle, and tiara, and pajab. Each one of the ornament has different description, different content of the gold. 14 karat, 20 karat, 18 karat, 24 karat. But can I take the gold away from it, whatever the carat, and call it a gold ornament? No. So if you melt it, any one of them, you can reform that gold, melted gold into any other form. Similarly, the wood in the furniture. It's the wood alone. It's not the furniture. It's not a chair or the table. It's the wood in the form of the chair, in the form of the table. This is the Advaita, not two, one alone. So what happens in the enlightenment? That Sukshma Sharir automatically understands that, look, we are all one. I have this wave. I am the wave, but I am enjoying that blue sky now, knowing it is not true. But I enjoy because after all, samsara is there. We cannot say samsara is all dream, meaning it is true that it is all dream as per Advaita, but I'm still enjoying as a husband, as a wife, as a son, as a daughter, as a professional, as a, in this myriads of life form, I now perform 10 out of 10 in every role. Whether as a mother, as a wife, as a daughter, as a father, as a professional, as a businessman or a business lady, I am a 10 out of 10. Because why? I know the consciousness alone exists. I have quite a few more things. Lots of data too, but it's already 12:05. And we had decided we'll limit it till 12 o'clock. So if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask. I'll cover the rest of them in our next session. Any doubts, any questions? Yes.
How is Viveka, how do we get Viveka? How do we know what is real, what is unreal?
How do you, Viveka, how do you?
How is Viveka established?
Okay.
And how do we know what is real, what is unreal?
Very good question. This discrimination power comes in through very simple knowing. And this is what, a very good question, Rajiv. It needs to be dwelt at length. what is happening is, my Sukshma Sharira, which has got Nama Rupa form, and it has got that reflective consciousness, which is a part of the consciousness, but reflective consciousness detaches itself from the consciousness. Answering your question, reflective consciousness, understanding with the mind, with the intellect, with the vichara, with the memory, with the reading, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, listening, thinking, Mananam, reflecting, reading, meditating, asking questions, bringing clarification, and then being silent, being still, delving into it more and more and more. What is happening? The knowledge which has come to me, which is from Upanishad. Upanishad. Upa is sitting, Nishad is close. I become the wisdom, the knowledge. I know. And this is why we pray every time we start, Asato ma satkamaya. Take us from unreal to real. The steps are Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. What happens now? Reflective consciousness. That is saying, let's go to Vedanta classes. Let's read. Let's ask questions. Let's think. And soon you will see, no, that red light means I cannot cross. I have to wait. This situation means I don't have to get angry. I compassionately, I don't blame that person. I don't find fault in the other guy anymore. I know, poor guy is ignorant. Let me pray for him, and I accept his ignorance, and I uplift his wealth, his wisdom. Everybody has that supreme reflective consciousness in them, that God consciousness in everything, in everyone. Only thing, why this jiva form, like plant life, animal life, and people like you and me, connecting it back to our earlier discussion related to this answer, is that you and I are a higher form. Why? Because we have the Sukshma Sharira. Rock, understanding it, rock, sunlight falls on it, it gets warm, it gets lit up. It is enjoying the consciousness. Rock is what? Let's say that inanimate object. A plant life enjoys it a little bit. It has a Sukshma Sharira, very tiny bit. You and I have a tremendous Sukshma Sharira. It has got this Sukshma Sharira can discriminate real to the unreal. And reflective consciousness saying, sit still, be still, read. This doesn't sound correct. Vichara coming in. So what is bringing the discrimination? This Sukshma Sharira. What happens when I get enlightened? Sukshma Sharira stays, but the enlightened master knows this is Sukshma Sharir, this is Sthula Sharir, this is Karana Sharir. Karana Sharir is ignorance. He knows it. He plays the role. So what did Paramahansa Ramakrishna was asked by Hari Maharaj? Remember, Rajiv, that story? Came and said, Thakur, how are you feeling today morning? Three days before Paramahansa Ramakrishna died, chose to leave his body. Terrible pain in the throat. He said, my throat is paining, I can't eat anything. Like a cancer patient. What was answering? The Sukshma Sharir with that reflective consciousness, with the Jiva. Jiva was answering that. Hari Maharaj, Turiya Maharaj says, he was a young brahmachari then, but Thakur, you are looking as if you are in bliss. Your face is shining. Just imagine 3 days before he was leaving, everybody knew. No answer. All the doctors had given up hope. Holy Mother Sharada said, I'm going to Tarakeshwar. I will go and pray for 7 days. And before going, Paramahansa Ramakrishna said in Bengali, Kichu hobe ni, in the village language, Kichu hobe ni, nothing is going to happen. even if you go and pray, because he knew that he has to now leave the body. And he, instead of getting bugged with that answer, imagine a cancer patient going to die and says, "You're looking joyful." He smiles and he said, "Rascal has caught me." So he knows this is Jiva, this is Shukva. He has that discrimination. Our journey, Rajiv sir, is this journey. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. Very simple process in which we have coupled the Kriya Yoga with Advaita Vedanta. The supreme knowledge, understanding it, practicing it. So, answer to Achala's, what happened? Many gods and goddesses come in, it's okay. No, there is oneness. And now in that oneness, if I happen to go into a mosque, let's say I go to Ajmeri Dargah, I will worship God over there in that form, or in a Christian church, or a temple, whereas in Kedarnath or Badrinath or Dakshineshwar, it is that same Brahman. But the process is all the time, needle is pointing to the north, magnetic needle. Pole star is pointing to the north. All the time you and I have to have that one consciousness. We are born to realize oneness with God. And you and I are divinely blessed that we have walked into this beautiful, powerful knowledge of the Vedanta. We are very blessed. We must have done some great work in a past life, like Janak Maharshi, today's story. That's how I went ahead and shared with you all. Does it answer your question, Rajiv?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. Jai Guru. I'm not the one. I'm just an Amazon.com delivery guy. Any other doubts? Any question? You have a beautiful Sunday. May the Divine Mother, Brahman, Prakriti, Purusha, Krishna, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, Babaji, Kalpa Yogi, Mahavatar, Babaji, the Deathless Master, Sadvapyapi, Anantam, Advaitam, Brahman, Consciousness, Paramahansa Yogananda, Gurudeva, Yukteswar Giri, Lahiri Mahasaya, Swami Sri Vivekananda, Gurudeva, Holy Mother Sharada, Paramahansa Ramakrishna, the gods and goddesses, yogis and yogins, gurus of the entire universe, bless us all, protect us, hold our hand, and take us across to that oneness. May we attain that oneness with your blessing and guidelines in this life alone. Guru does exist, is always there. Atma Param Guru. I am Atman Brahman. Om. Before I end, I would like you all to go through that Isha Upanishad, beautiful verse which we had discussed last time and the time before last. Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamudachyate, Purnasya, Purnameva Vasishtate. Purna is this. Purna is that. Purna takes birth from Purna. When Purna is taken away from Purna, Purna completely remains as it is. This is Brahman, this is consciousness, this is you, this is we all as one. Meditate on it. It's very powerful. Purna alone remains. Brahman alone remains. Advaita. Isha Upanishad. Jai Guru.